such an asshole.
All right, this was kind of all over the place, but a lot of young people and maybe not so young people will draw some important lessons from this one. So let me go through it. We'll answer his multitude of questions and we'll all walk away better people. I wasn't good enough before. No, you fucking sucked. But after this video, you're going to be a great motherfucker and chicks are going to dig you. Oh my God, it was just this video I was missing all the. Yep, this is the video. We'll all become amazing people after this. Hi, Aaron. I'm 20 years old and currently working as a drywall taper texture guy and making $20 an hour, 30 with overtime. I chose not to attend. Okay, stop right now. I'm not saying you shouldn't respect your employer. Can you strike out on your own and do this on your own? Like, would it alienate your boss? Right? You don't need a license for that, right? Just a thought. I chose not to attend college directly out of high school because I'm not a fucking moron. I added that. You're just smart. You were intelligent not going to college. And I don't know, making money instead. I contacted you because I'm looking for some guidance on figuring out a direction for my life and career. Lately, I've been seriously considering school, either a vocational program or a 4-year university. I'm mainly leaning this way to get out of my current job. I don't enjoy the work, and while the pay is decent, the crew lead is constantly stirring up drama and making the job miserable. All right, just so you know. Here, I'll give you my quick thing on the trades to help you make your decision down the road. There are two types of tradesmen. There are those who are good enough who are self-employed, and you don't have to be licensed. And like plumber, you got to be licensed and all that. But I don't think a taper mutter you have to be, or a landscaper you don't have to be, right? And the two fall into this: those who are self-employed and make good money, and then the sister fuckers who are drunks that don't show up on time and bitch and whine and all about that. All right. I don't know what it is with the I really don't. Why do the trades attract drunk, incompetent, alcoholic, unprofessional, unreliable, irresponsible fuckwits? I don't know. And I would go talk to Dumbass Contractor, Scott Wilson. Look him up. Dumbass Contractor, both the website and in the YouTube channel. But you're just like, dude, all you got to do is show up in time, do a good job, and you know how hard that is with mudding and taping and texturing. And do the job right, and don't fuck over your client. And they just can't do it. You get a good skill or a trade like plumbing, electrician, even an art like mudding and taping. You strike out on your own, you show up on time, you do the job right, you can make a living wage, more than a living wage. But by God, by golly, it's like 90% of American contractors, alcohol in their sisters' mouths fuck them up, and they just can't do the job. So I know maybe your experiences working with these dumbass contractors is painful and tedious. There's still money to be made there if you want to go into a more formalized trade. Or I think if you're just good enough, like you could be the mudding and taping guy. And I'm not kidding when I say this, entrepreneurially speaking. On your web, sober mudding guy, sober sheetrock guy, whatever. On the website, we show up sober, we do the job right, we don't fuck over our clients. That's it. And then you honor that. So that's one route you can go. But just so in case you have this apprehension, like, well, if I go into the trades, is it going to be like, yeah, because they're all busy sucking down booze and fucking their sisters, because that's what American contractors do, except for the 10% of them. So a curse, yet a blessing. All right. So there, I've just explained the American contractor labor market. I'm mainly leaning this way to get on my current job. I don't enjoy the work, and while the pay is decent, the crew lead is constantly stirring up drama and making the job miserable. My lease is up in several months, and I plan on leaving this area. I'm holding off on finding a new job until then so I can keep stacking cash. Right now, I'm looking into becoming either a diesel mechanic or mechanical engineer. Financially, I've been trying to stay on top of things. I got $2,500 in a 401k. Oh, yeah, that's good, man. I know you're young, but that's good. $2,500 in a Roth IRA, about $5,000 in a high-yield savings account, good. And $2,000 set aside as an emergency fund. Your $5,000 is also an emergency fund. I know you're making your whatever 5 or 6% interest. That is also your emergency fund. So if your boss ever fucks you over, fuck you, I'm out of here, and you got yourself some living expenses. I bought 2 vehicles with cash, fixed them up, and got them running well. My credit score is 770. Where have all the good men gone? Let me guess, the girls aren't throwing themselves at you. You girls couldn't smell a good man if he smelled like roses. You just couldn't. You could not identify a man if there was a big old neon sign saying good man right here. Still, even with all that in order, I feel stuck. I don't have any close friends, just surface level acquaintances. I feel isolated and burned out from dealing with people's nonsense. I want real honest connections, but it seems like most people are caught up in shallow bullshit. I don't know if I'm the problem, but I've had this lingering sense of not wanting to wake up. All right. So here's the problem. And I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't you, it's society. Not necessarily that everyone around you is wrong and alcoholics and all that. Oh, that is true probably with your coworkers. You took a different path in life. Most people who are your age, 20, are in college. They're not even finished. They're not even halfway done with college. They're just coming around to finishing their sophomore year. They can't even drink, right? And because you didn't go with the herd, yes, there's going to be less people there. Also, you chose to work in a field where there's nothing wrong with, where the people are dumb, they are petty, they are alcoholics or drug, whatever it is you contractors do, meth, cow urine. I don't know what you do. You do something, and you are with. I'll say this: you are with an inferior group of people. That doesn't mean you can't have a contractor who is a superior person, but generally, labor in the American contractor home building world, you're dealing with inferior people. They are looking to avoid work. They don't have a hustle. You chose to become a laborer. You went into sheetrocking probably because of intelligence. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know if I want to go to college. In the meantime, I'm going to work up and say, how many people your age? Let me ask you this. How many people do you work with have an IRA and a 401k? Guarantee you barely none of them do, even if they're twice your age. All right. So you can make the right choice financially and career-wise, avoiding college, going into a trade, making money, right? Hey, $20 an hour is not bad. 30 with overtime, not bad. You're learning a skill in a trade, you can barter. That's an intelligent move, but that doesn't mean you're going to be surrounded by intelligent, hardworking, industrious, or otherwise good and moral people. For the most part, you're surrounded by, once again, the sister fuckers of America, American contractors, right? So you are going to be lonely. There's going to be drama. You remind me of a very unique client I had one time, a young black lady, woman, girl. She was in the military. She was an officer. She had a degree in accounting. And I can't remember if it was a nail salon or a cell phone kiosk store. She was like the assistant manager or something like that. And she was coming up to me and she's like, I've been working here and Shanika was disrespecting me. There's drama and I ain't got time. I said, girlfriend. I said, whoa. Hold on. You have a degree in accounting. I think she maybe was like a first lieutenant by the time. I'm like, we're an officer in the military. What the fuck are you doing swimming with the sludge of society? Like, what the hell is going on? I said, you got to get above this. All right. Now, for whatever reason, maybe she was living with her folks and just want to say, well, that was the closest job she could get. But she is the eagle that is surrounded by the turkeys. You are probably the same thing too, right? So I would not, one, worry about being lonely. That is a given. You have gone a path less traveled, right? But the good news is, yes, you probably would have had more friends in college, but it would have been the wrong financial move. All right. So you are going to be lonely. That's normal. Your brain is working fine. It's nothing to get worked up about. But you made the right choice financially and career-wise, because what would you have done? You probably would have wasted your time in college and "Oh, Cappy, I'm in debt." You wouldn't have the money you got now or the skill that you could now. If you ever needed to pick up work, I could sheetrock, mud, tape, and texture. So, yes, you're lonely, but it was the right choice. And you're going to continue to be lonely working within this because you're the eagle surrounded by the turkeys. 2, you are not wrong, right? Whatever drama and bullshit these inferior folks are drumming up and their petty antics and bullshit, that's their penny antics and bullshit. I don't care if they say you're a bad mother or tape or that. I don't care. I don't care what the drama is. They're wrong. You're right. This is what inferior people do, whether it's at the construction site or it's at the cell phone kiosk or the realty office. Inferior people do the office politics at banks. Inferior people engage in office politics and drama. You're not wrong. And then what was the third thing? You're going to be lonely. You're not wrong. I feel stuck. I don't have any close friends, just surface level acquaintances. I feel arrogant and burnt out from dealing with people's nonsense. I want real, honest connections, but it seems like most people call it shallow bullshit. I don't know if I'm the problem. You're not the problem. I'm going to add a fourth one. If it says, yeah. So you say, don't know if I'm the problem. You're not the problem. Number 3. And number 4, I want real, honest connections. Tough shit, dude. Guess what? You're living in the real world. And this is, I think every young person goes through this where you just got out of high school 2 years ago, right? And the teachers and the movies and the television and your parents said, "Hi, baby, it's an amazing world." The real world is just, the places you will go. The most worst graduation book ever. Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places you will go. Throw that shit and burn it. And I hate to just tell you the truth. You're especially in America, you're not going to get real honest connections. Your best buddies you hung out with in high school and all that, that's because you were the same age, all congregated at the same place at the same time. War buddies, same thing. We're stuck here, same age, same place, same time. College, yeah, you'd have some buddies in college, true. But all that comes to an end. The war ends, school ends, college ends, and then you go off into the real world. And when you wake up and realize just what utter shit Americans have become in terms of character, moral caliber, buddy, they're not much better than the sister fuckers you're working with right now. Right? I mean, they're not. If you went to college, it'd be a bunch of sanctimonious people who think they're intelligent and they're not, and they're going to be Marxist, leftist, parasitic fucks, somehow rationalizing parasitism as a moral virtue. Imagine hanging out with that fucking trash. Then let's say you went into whatever, mechanical engineering. Okay, good degree. You're going to be shielded a little bit from HR and all that other shit, but you'd still have to deal with HR and interviews and fake job postings and the political corporate office bullshit. You wouldn't have seen your friends because they probably, oh my God, I got my student loan debt. I can't find a job. I can't all be like you. And then they fucking go away. In other words, young people's expectations of what kind of social life and personal relationships you're going to form is way overestimating those relationships and the quality and the caliber of people that will be in there. And I hate to be a downer, but I mean, yeah, man, I just don't want you living on hope. This is kind of normal. This is why if you have a good friend or even if you find a good woman, holy shit, hold on to those people and treat them well. But yeah, you're not. One, you're in the wrong country for honest connections. The people are shit. 2, you're at the wrong stage in life because you're young and everyone has to go through this. You got to wander through the desert. You leave high school. You leave college. You get into the working world. This is your first dose of the working world. And then 3, you're in the wrong environment for honest connections. If you want honest connections, that's pretty much school or the military during war or whatever. If you're lucky, you'll find a team that you work with in the job and you'll get some real honest. But no, man, the people of this country suck. And once you leave the artificial environment of school where everyone of the same age happens to be together, yeah, those honest connections become real rare, very rare. And so I don't want to burst your bubble, but I do want you to know and what to expect out of the real world. And a very common problem I got with a lot of young guys, like kind of the same thing. Where do I find friends? And I'm not kidding. You all should be going and looking at the fraternal organizations just to have a team to belong to. Or if you're religious, go join a religion or church or whatever. I mean, make sure it isn't a modern day pansified feminist worshiping, American church, maybe Orthodox or Islam or Orthodox Jews. Although you'd have to believe, you can't just come in. I'm lonely. Will you take me? Sure. Strap on this vest. But in a more serious sense, if you actually did believe these, you could do that. But yeah, man, that's normal. And above all else, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You should feel, everyone feels a little sad, a little home. What happened to my butt? Your environment drastically changed. This is normal. But yeah, man, it ain't you. It is not you. People suck this much, and you need to set aside the humility and the humbleness. But come on, buddy. How many people had the wisdom in the streets by saying, I'm not going to college because I don't know. I'm going to go work. I'm going to save my money. How you got a 401k and an IRA at 20? You can't even drink. You got an IRA and a 401k, and you knew enough to do the Roth. You got a micro FU fund. You got a good credit score. I know you down the road, you're going to say, I didn't have that great of a GP. I don't know if I'm that smart. No, I guarantee you, you're way more intelligent than you think. Is your IQ 170? Probably not. I peg you around like 130, 135. But even if you don't have an IQ test of that, you are absolutely an independent thinker, which sometimes is even more important than intelligence. But regardless of what curve you want to look at on, you're way over here on the right of the Bell distribution curve. And it's just lonely. And that's why I'd recommend, regardless of your IQ, though I'm going to guess it's like 130, I go pick up the book, Curse the High IQ, and read through it. Fuck your GPA. Fuck school. Fuck your SATs and your ACTs. They don't mean jack fucking shit. You probably were bored in school, probably got C's and D's, like, 3.2, you got like C's and B's, maybe a couple A's in there. All right. School does not measure intelligence, it measures obedience. So even though the topic is about intelligence and IQ, I want you to read the book, Curse of the High IQ, and view it more from a terms of statistical aberrance or aberrance. Yeah, aberrance. I think that's the word. You're aberrant. You're different. You're unique. And in a good way, you're independent minded. Most people, like, you can't even drink, right? You save your money, you work overtime. Your contact, I'm thinking about diesel mechanic or mechanical engineering. You know what your colleagues are thinking? Like, I wonder if I could fuck my cousin after my sister, because that's what American contractors do that. What more seriously, you know what they're thinking? I can't wait to get drunk and drink my problems away because I make such bad fucking decisions. That's their life. So you're not wrong. I've had this lingering sense of not wanting to wake up. No, man. I understand those thoughts. But it's only because you're misdiagnosing the problem, misdiagnosing your environment. It's not you. I would say this. Once you acknowledge this is the real world, you know it's not you. That should give you a little bit of a reprieve. But yeah, if it's that miserable, if you're that miserable, yeah, you're going to have to move out of that environment. And that's perfectly normal for a 20-year-old man, boy, young person, woman even. You tried your hand at an honest trade. Nothing wrong with that. There's things you could do to continue to make it going at the honest trade, actually becoming, more formalized tradesman, or just put in your headphones and ignore the drama. Striking out on your own, say, I do sheetrock. I'm working for myself. Like, you don't answer to a foreman. Run this scenario through your head. Would your life be better if you didn't have to answer to a foreman? You just struck out on your own. You did your own, like, yeah, I'm not answering to you anymore. And you just had a website and you just did, I do sheetrocking and that's all I do. The sheetrock man, sober sheetrocking with no bullshit and drama. Right? Would that make your life better? So that's another option. But this is the trial and error phase that every young person goes through, figure out where do I want to belong. You're fine. You're doing great. You're doing better than the average guy. It isn't your fault. Yes, everybody else is wrong. Everybody else is a fuck up. Welcome to America. And yes, you're fucking special. And not in the millennial trophy, participation trophy generation like way. You're actually statistically special and unique in a positive way, not short bus way, actual positive way. But don't become an arrogant prick about it. I take care of myself physically. I lift, do cardio, eat clean, and I enjoy reading and learning about subjects and hobbies like anatomy, Asian cultures, motorcycles, and guns. But mentally, I'm in a rut and tired of it all. 100% normal. However, there's nothing wrong. That's how it is in the real world. You're tired of it all? Tough shit. That's all there is. Right? So again, it's not you. This is the environment you're in. So I just want you to know that if you go and let's say you become a civil engineer, you're going to run into this same shit when you go work at whatever, the county. It might be a different variety of shit, but you're going to run into shit. Right? So where'd it go? You're tired of it all? Stop being tired because it's never going to go away. And here you might want to pick up How Not to Become a Millennial and read the chapter on careers. I don't have it linked below because it's just one chapter. But this is what I had to go through. I was about 32, 33 when I realized they're never going to use me for what I'm fully capable of. And the bullshit is never going to go away. And again, I'm giving you a very abbreviated version of it. You can go to work and let their bullshit piss you off and get paid, or you could go to work, ignore them, and get paid and have a much better day. But either way, you're losing your 8 hours. It's whether or not you're going to let these people piss you off. But then they increase the amount of work. Well, so you had to go work anyway. You were going to go work. It doesn't matter if you're fixing a mistake or if you're doing new, actual good work, or they say you know the wrong house. It just doesn't matter, man. It's the same 8 hours a day. You're getting paid. Doesn't matter if they pay me to approve loans or disapprove loans, clean the toilets or do high-level advanced mathematics. It's the same 8 hours I lose in my life every day, and it's the same pay. So it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter what they have me do. They can yell at me and I can ignore them. They can yell at me. I can get pissed off at them. I'm just not going to get, no. Sounds like, again, can you strike out on your own? Just do your own mudding and taping company? I'd look into that. And rut and tired of it. Do you think I am the problem? I guarantee you, you're not the problem, society. Here's another thing. Well, I'll introduce it now. Here's a great rule. Okay. Are any of these people successful? Are any of them successful or happy? They're not? Well, then fuck them. Right? You got to understand the religion. We don't have a state religion, not officially in the United States, but we have an effective one. It's called popularity. Everyone wants to be in agreement and be popular. Okay. And you know what popularity, how you become popular? You conform. And you know how you conform? You do what the most average of normies ever do, whatever the current cool thing is. But here's the problem. If you make normal choices and normal decisions, you are condemned, damned to hell to have normal results. Isn't it amazing that the most popular obedient kids in America end up becoming the most debt-ridden 40-somethings who all get divorced and don't have enough saved for retirement? Isn't that interesting? Like everyone who did the thing that was the popular and you voted Democrat, and I did the thing and I filed Hart Money Will File, and now they're all begging for a student loan bailout. Dude, you should be so fucking proud you got an IRA and a 401k and you can't even drink yet. Normal behaviors get normal results. And in America, normal results is a fat, overweight, unfuckable human being who's in debt and is miserable and uses foods, if not drugs, to fucking medicate their miserable fucking lives. You've been in this for 2 years, man. You just it's a marathon. It's a marathon. And if you're looking around and people are saying, you're not doing well, or we don't like you, or we're a bunch of fucking idiots, you're not the problem. You are superior objectively. This is an opinion. You are a superior person in an inefficient system and a flawed system. You're simply not being popular. You're going to be superior. You're going to be empirical. And it sucks. Oh, does it suck living in normie world? Bro, what was it? It was a Nissan. I was in college. And I told people how much I had saved up because I was going to pay off my student loans, which I threw into a CD because you didn't accrue interest. Like, dude, why don't you get the Nissan 280X or something like that? I'm like, because I'm going to pay off my student loans. Bro, you could, bro. Those people did sign up for a car loan at 14.7%. I didn't have student loan debt. Guess who's superior? I don't mean like a morally superior way. My life. And it's quite some time later. Yeah, I get to go hiking whenever I want. I get to do whatever I want whenever I want. Pretty much. But I was not popular. Oh, nosy, I didn't approve all the loans for the needle dick little baby boomer banker boys. Oh, and some of them, no, not some, all of them got fired and they don't have any money. All went into real estate. Surprise, all became realtors. Yeah, man, this is about as hard as it's going to get in your life. But then it's just going to get easier and easier because you're not making mistakes. You're not being popular. You're being empirical. And so, oh no, the normie, drunk, alcoholic sister fucking community of American contractors don't like you. Oh no, darn. I guess you won't be invited to Cousin Fucking Fest 2025 in Wyoming. Darn, I guess you won't be a meth addict. I guess you'll own a house. I guess your house will be put together. I guess you won't get divorced like every American contractor does. I guess you won't have student loans like all your buddies from high school and maybe your enemies from high school. Oh my God, fall hard, money fall, college. Oh no, you won't become a 42-year-old millennial writing an article like, I need a student loan bailout because fascism. It sucks now, man. It sucks. But you're well on your way to having a much better life than practically nearly everyone else around you. It's just that you're not obeying and you're not doing popular obedient thing. Popular obedient thing. I don't know because you're a lot younger than me, but in my day, we were told we were shallow if we liked attractive women. Popular obedient thing, said every old baby boomer marm in our lives. You're shallow. You're shallow. No, we're right and empirical. And guys who have hot women are happier fucking them than the men who have fat women or ugly women. That's not pop fuck society and fuck what they think is popular or politically correct. I'm fucking a hot chick with long hair, long legs, and big tits. Everyone go fuck themselves, or because you have to, because no one's gonna fuck you because you're fat and ugly. Just you're doing great, man. It's just you're starting to ruffle feathers because you're not as miserable as everybody else. You're not doing popular thing. Do you think I am the problem? I've never really liked being around people, especially when I was in school. There's nothing wrong with it. You might just be an introvert. That's fine. Are you happier when you're by yourself? That's perfectly fine. But if you're lonely, well, then maybe you should go to a social event or something like that. Pick up some dance classes, join the Eagles or the Elks. But if you never really like being around people, cool. That's fine. Why? Let me ask you this. Why should you like being around people? Have people given you a reason to enjoy being with them? Like, okay, I went and played this poker group out here in Vegas, which ironically, I didn't go to a casino. It's for like locals who don't want to they don't want to go to the casinos. They're not gamblers. They just want to play a friendly neighborhood game of poker, right? So there's different poker matches throughout town, little organization group. And I'm like, oh, I got to get out. I'm going to go play poker. And I went and played poker. And for the most part, it was pretty good, except for one gal who didn't know how to play, wasn't paying attention. It's like, it's her turn, call, raise, or fold. Talking and jibber jabbering. And I realized I'm not having fun. Same thing with the nerd group. Tried to play. I won't say where, but there's a comic book place in Vegas. That doesn't narrow it down. There's actually a lot out here. D&D, let's go. All right. I had my dice bag and my 5th edition and my character sheet. I'm ready to go. And I got there and it was stinky, autistic morons who were doing inside jokes the entire time, not playing the game. The DM was not DMing. We stayed in the fucking bar the entire time and played social antics because these people don't have a social life in the real world. We never left the fucking village. No, it wasn't having fun. Why? Because those people sucked. The lady that was not playing poker sucked. She might be a nice lady, but she wasn't playing poker. She sucked. These people suck. Oh my God, you don't want to hang out with a bunch of fat, obese, Walmart shopping, dyed hair, tatted up, nose pierced Americans who all just like, did you watch the Game of Thrones show? Hey, Cap, have you watched Yellowstone yet? You like Yellowstone? Stone of the Yellow? Do you want to go hiking at Zion instead? Oh, have you looked at, really, step back, look at the people, whether the one you went to high school with, the kids going to college, you're the coworkers. Do you want to hang out with these people? Do you enjoy hanging out with these people? You don't? There's nothing wrong with that then. Maybe because humans are communal creatures, we think we got to hang out with other human beings. Like, oh, something's wrong. I'm not enjoying going to a loud, insufferable nightclub where I'd like to try to talk to that girl, but I got to pay $18 to get a drink and she's going to be a bitch and shoot me down anyway. There's something wrong with me. No. There's nothing wrong if you don't want to hang out with insufferable people or people that make you feel bad. Not like, oh, I'm so shit and bad, but just like, I just get angry. I mean, I used to go to anger management, but like blood pressure and cortisol, you know what drives that up the most? Other human beings, inferior fucking moronic other human beings. And so I get it. You need to get it too. There's nothing wrong not wanting to hang out with people, because if they don't make you happy, they don't make it an enjoyable experience. Yeah, don't go. There will always be that human genetic, but I'd like to have some friends. Yeah, well, then you better go find a different culture. We're going to get to that. But for smart people, you're not going to have a good cultural, social group here in the United States. You got a bunch of fat, lazy, dumb, victim whining pigs who come up with whatever the excuse. I got a disease. I got a mental disease. I can't do everything. I avoid work at all costs and therefore have no creative content or character about me. I'm absolutely a worthless fucking human being, but I bought a fancy car at 17%, so you must think I'm pretty fucking cool. Fuck all these people. Do you think I am the problem? No. I've never really liked being around people that's healthy, especially when I was in school. Imagine that. Kids in school sucked. Huh. I did not perform well in high school. I graduated with 3.1 GPA. I think you're probably smarter than you think. What would you suggest given my current career interests? Once I've figured out a career path, I'd like to try to live in a few different Asian countries. This would be after the age of 30, of course. I live in the Midwest currently. Oh, that's another thing. I don't know where you are in the Midwest. Midwest people suck. Oh, they fucking suck. Backstabby, passive aggressive. Fucking, that's where all the Karens are made, and they just export them out. I mean, there's other parts of the country, they got their own problems, but oh, fuck the Midwest. Do you think this is be possible if I choose to become a diesel mechanic? All right. Valley, any advice or perspective you're willing to share? Thanks for your time. Keep you anonymous. The problem, the logistical problem you're facing, you want to go and travel. But the two things you're picking, diesel mechanic or mechanical engineering, yeah, neither of those are going to be conducive to you going overseas and traveling overseas. And here's the thing, do you want to travel overseas, or do you want to try another environment where the people and the culture might be a little bit more intelligent and you find a community? Like Dre, he's gone off to Asia. Okay. Here's this tall, big old black, well, he's not old, but big old black dude, right? Marine. And he stands out like a sore thumb. South Korea, Japan, no matter where, because he ain't tall dude and he's black. He ain't Asian. He's found more. He's not even fluent in the languages. He's working on it. He's told me he's felt more belonging in community and care for these people, and reciprocally care for him than he's been anywhere else. And these are supposed to be the racist communities, you know, like you're not allowed in this room, but they're just kind and polite to him. They got an IQ above 47. You don't have they don't have rascals where you could shop at Walmart. There is etiquette, standard, and decorum. There's community and culture over there. So do you want to just travel over there, or do you want to find your people, which you estimate or surmise might be over in Asia, right? If you just want to travel and visit Asia, yeah, go become a diesel mechanic, go become a mechanical engineer. You're probably going to work here, and then maybe you go visit overseas. But if you think you want to move there, you have very limited educational options that will allow for that easily. Because there's now two ways you get to any other foreign community. All right. First, you stay domestic, you work up a shit ton of money that you can now then go and afford to live in the foreign country community for the rest of your days. You could retire there. So this is like you're more likely the 50, 60-year-old man. You retire, you collect your Social Security check, you get your pension or 401k, you quit your job in Dallas, Texas, and then you move off to Thailand where you get yourself a cheap condo and maybe you come back in summer to visit family. Okay. But you're going to be here for decades working, which is fine. There's nothing wrong being a diesel mechanic or an engineer or whatever else. The other way, if you want to go sooner, is now you got really limited educational options. Again, link below is Chad and my accounting career course. We don't teach you accounting. We teach you about a career in accounting, how to go about doing it, how to get remotely employed and self-employed as quickly as possible, even though you're going to have to work for other people, educational options and all that. And I'm not just promoting that because I got a course, but it seems still to this day, the quickest way to have a remote and self-employed job is to work as an accountant. There are others, like a computer programmer, but we're in a bit of a tech recession. And with computer programming, you unless you become really good and become an entrepreneurial programmer, like you're making your own shit, or you're a contractor, that's another way. You usually have to work a lot longer for somebody else, especially to get remote employment for an employer who will allow you to go overseas. That's a big hurdle because, like, well, we don't trust those IP addresses. No, we can't go. You can't be over there. You have to be here. I know a guy, he'd love to live in China, but he can't go overseas because he works for a company that, like, no, we're not having our shit stolen by the Chinese. Anyway, you're looking at least 5 years. Another way, it's a crapshoot, but it could happen, is you become an influencer of some kind, right? I don't know what a 20-year-old talks about, but I'll give you an example. Raymond Thoughts of Mind. He was corporate. Then he worked construction with his old man, still does. And he worked hard at creating a YouTube channel And in 2 months, it's a miracle. He's got enough money to live. Now, he's not wealthy. I think he makes around $2,000, $3,000 a month. He's got enough to live. He could go overseas if he wanted to. That's another option. Whichever one might interest you, though, you have to find, if you wanted to go to Asia now and live there, even if you didn't know where you want to live, you want to go overseas and spend significant time over there exploring, finding out where you want to live, you're going to need a job that allows you to work remotely so you can go over there, travel experience, and work and pay for bills over there, and not take a job from a foreigner over there. Whatever that is, it's up to you, man. But more practically, if you choose traditional trades, diesel mechanic, or mechanical engineering, a college degree, you're more or less going to be here in the United States, working, saving up your money, traveling, checking things out, perfectly fine, perfectly okay. And even figure out where you want to live overseas. That's at least a 4-year experiment. 4 years of traveling, sampling, going, doing. It might even be 10 years by the time you figure it out. But inevitably, you figure it out. You work until you're 65, get your Social Security, cash in all your shit in the United States, go overseas, retire. If you don't want to wait that long, you're going to have to change probably to accounting. Just going to put it that way. Because unless you guys know something else, some people talk English teaching English overseas. That's another way to get, but the pay ain't that great. But yeah, if you're a diesel mechanic, you fly into Tokyo, you better be really fucking fluent in Japanese to be a diesel mechanic over there. And a lot of countries have rules on you, and you can't take a job here. We're not like America where we spread our ass cheeks, say, well, come fuck us. Oh my God. I don't know why people aren't working. I don't know why we can't afford housing. So those are generally your two options. You're going to have to research that more. Do you want, it sounds like you're more hands-on. So accounting might be too boring for you. Computer programming might be too boring for you, but that's the way you go. You say, I'd like to try living in a few different Asian countries. This would, of course, be after the age of 30. Do you think it'd be possible if you became a diesel mechanic? Yeah, you could, work, save your money, travel. Oh, I like these 3 countries. And then in your 30s into your 40s, you check them out a little bit more thoroughly. And then, I'm going to save up the money and retire at 55. You could do that. But I don't know. I would contemplate and evaluate and think about getting an online skill or trade. Or, you work as a tradesman. You run a little hobby channel, YouTube channel. I mean, that's what I did. I was running a blog, and then you never know where that's going to go. But that's your 2 options to getting overseas. But as for the rest of it, man, there's nothing wrong with you. It's not your fault. And you are at that stage in life where you're trying different things. Most people fuck this shit up and go into debt. You haven't done that. This is perfectly normal. Why not take a course or 2 at the local community college, right? And normally I recommend going to school online, right, just to get the credits out of the way. But 1, you don't know what degree you're going to get. And 2, I think you should go and maybe talk to some people. Maybe night school even, because they're usually more mature and a little bit more professional than your daytime kids. So if you want to go to school in the daytime, you could. But why don't you go see if there's a community college you can go get your prereqs out of the way if you want to start that. Maybe start investigating diesel schools. I want to tell you, when we go work mechanics, they're a little bit better than contractors. But there again, dude, just do the job right. You may also be thinking about self-employment down the road. But why don't, you've tried your hand, work and save some money. Okay, cool. You got a good skill. You can always fall back on it. Why don't you take a college course at night or on weekends? Why don't you see what the diesel mechanic school is? Have you thought about the part-time military? What about joining up with the National Guard or the reserves. Get out, talk to some people, meet young men such as yourselves, right? You might be a great, a candidate for officer candidate school because you don't have a college degree, but you put in your times and your dues. The military might pay you to become a diesel mechanic. Why don't you check that out? Maybe you get your family. The military, whatever people's complain about it, you're generally a higher caliber individual if you're looking at joining the military. That's some maybe, 4 or 3-year commitment. You get some tremendous ancillary benefits. You get some tuition assistance, even part-time. That will make your other jobs down the road. And then the other thing I recommend to you, why don't you go have a little bit of fun? You've done good. If there's like, I know you got your hobbies and you don't like people, but if there's something you really want to do, generally with people, like maybe take a dance course, some kind of social group, just kind of get out, go permit yourself to have some fun a little bit. That's what I would do. But yeah, it ain't your fault. No, it's not going to get better. This is what the real world is like. And yeah, man, just ignore the normies. The normies are going to have normal results. So I wrote these. Let's go over the rules one final time for everyone, okay? I want you to ask yourself, if you ever need to, like, is it me? A couple tests we can take, okay? How many people do you know that are happy, successful, and fucking hot people? Not that they're hot. They are fucking having sex with people who are hot. How many people do you know like that? I guarantee you know less than 5 people like that. And unless that person is happy, successful, and fucking a hot person, I wouldn't listen to the other people. I would not listen to the normies, because the rule is normal, conformist, popular behavior results in normal results. And in America, that means you're a fat, unfuckable, poor pig who lives on debt. So unless you want to be a fat, unfuckable pig who lives on who's poor and lives on debt and not having sex with a good-looking person, I wouldn't worry at all what other people say or think. I won't worry about it at all. Now, some added resources linked down below. Curse to the High IQ. Please get that book and read through it. Especially for those of you, society, I'm not doing well by society's standards. I feel lonely. Like, please go read that book. Zero World Problems. If you're looking for something to do, something tangible to drastically increase your standards of living, notice this is new standards of living in the post-materialist economy. That means not money. Take a look at that book. That'll give you some stuff, tangible, constructive stuff to do. And then also linked down below is the world's greatest accounting career. So if you're interested in becoming remotely and self-employed, not a guarantee, may I recommend you look into the realm of accounting, the world of accounting. Just so you know, the accounting industry, like the traditional industry where you get a degree to go work for someone else and maybe they pay for your CPA and all that, that has some tremendous headwinds against it. One, you got to go work for corporate America, which sucks. 2, the Big Four, among other public accounting firms, is trying to outsource everything to India and the Philippines because they speak English. Cappy, shouldn't they be trained in American tax law and accounting and maybe not, be known as scam artists on the internet stealing my EIN number and my social security? Am I going to have someone who speaks clear English on customer? Like, my taxes are pretty much, shh, be quiet, you bigot. How dare you expect high quality service from a fellow citizen? So yeah, but if you take the course, you'll find out me and Chad are like, I mean, you can do what you want, but working for an employer, like, nah, fuck that shit. Fuck the Big Four. So we obviously put a heavy emphasis on self-employment and remote employment, because why the fuck wouldn't you want that? Again, the world's greatest accounting career. Available on Teachable or the link below. No, it doesn't teach you accounting. It teaches you how to navigate it and to save money. Like, you don't actually have to go to college to become an accountant. There are ways around it. And then, I don't know, I'd love someone on the IT world. Like, how do you become remotely employed in computer programming or the world of IT? That would make a good course as well. All right, now let us go to the super chats if we have any. We have 2. My Truth, the King. If it helps, young man, you got turkeys at enlisted blue collar level and ostriches at officer corporate level are dumb, are backstabby, keep saving money. Wait, I like how there's no eagles. Ostriches? Is that what they call officers now? Is ostriches? He just has to realize people are dumb and they're going to conform and they're going to be inferior and that he shouldn't let the popularity metrics measure his success. I mean, you just go to work to make money and go live your life. I cannot emphasize that. I mean, really, stop and think for a second, okay? Let's look at peak white collar work. What would be the poster child for peak white collar work? And what comes to mind isn't necessarily a powerful executive CEO, which you're not going to become, although that could be it. For kind of what I think paints the picture, encapsulates corporate work really well, is itty bitty girl in a skirt. Itty bitty girl in a skirt. That's what I picture white. Like, that's it. That's success in the white collar world. Like, why the fuck would I work there? Go there, make your money, live your life. Save your money. And and in his world, it's the blue collar guy pulls up with his brand new truck that's financed and his wife just divorced him, and the guy's bitching about how unfair life is, but can't show up on time or do the job right. Forum, 10 Canadian, mechanical engineer's advice, go with the mechanic for more useful in the day-to-day life and more options down the line that won't lead to the BS of management. Yeah, that's another thing. If you are an engineer, any college degree you go get, you're going to be dealing with corporate American or corporate Canadian bullshit. There's going to be an HR person. Yes, you might be inoculated against them because you're STEM and they need you more than you need them, but you still got to sit in meetings. And where do all you engineers, when you lose your soul, Forum, you could speak to this. When an engineer loses his or her soul, where do they go? Go to management. That's the day you lose your soul, and you all lose your soul. You all get promoted to project management and general management, and then you lose your soul. You're no longer an engineer. But if you just want to not deal with Karen and meetings and corporate bullshit, yeah, I go become the mechanic. See, he's stuck in kind of the worst, where he's with these tradesmen. It's like, is this what? It's like, yeah, it's even worse in corporate America. And you got commutes, right? I'm sure tradesmen got to commute, but you don't commute all at the same place at the same time. You go to that house over there. Yeah, if I had blue collar work, trades over white collar almost any day, especially today. Real $2. Remote work is a good way to get replaced in IT. Correct. Or in accounting. Starting to see. So I don't know. I gotta imagine. Well, given how naive people are, just here's my money. I don't want to do TurboTax. You do it. They're not going to ask. Is this outsourced to India? They're not going to ask. But when they got to call customer service, it's like you can't understand them because their accent is so heavy. No, I wonder what you'd pay for a good old Native American, not American Indian, but like born in America, an American English speaking accountant. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.